Whew. Still waiting on my devices to charge. Why ain't it working? What the hell? Is the sound messed up on this phone? Probably. Dropped in a damn porta potty. Is there a sound button that I'm missing? Maybe it's the article.
Friedrich Nietzsche
This
was
works.
a German philosopher, poet, and cultural critic of the 19th century.
That works. I don't know why. Forbes has got out a thing. Apparently they're tearing up San Francisco and California now. So it's spread from Los Angeles to San Francisco. And Forbes has got an article that they just dropped talking about it. And there's no sound. And this phone ain't working. Hello, hey Flutterby. The sound ain't working. It's 81. Let's see here. Oh wow, so there's a map. Where's the map? Show me the map. You baited me with a map. Over a dozen cities. No, I don't want to know. Over a dozen cities, including New York, Philadelphia, Seattle, and Atlanta, are seeing the same kind of destruction as Los Angeles and now San Francisco. These people are destroying the city. Oh, here's the map. So this is where all the riots are taking place, even in Washington State. That is crazy. So they're looting everything, they're burning everything, they're wanting to stay in the United States, and as we all know, that is not possible. It's not possible. They're going to be deported if they did not come through the port of entry, file the proper paperwork, and pay the monies, then they're going to be deported, okay? All of these people are protesting deportation. They're fighting ICE and now the National Guard. And it looks like this is not just in Los Angeles. I have a map here. And as you can see where there are red dots on the map, on the East Coast, in the middle of the United States, and on the far, out in California on the West Coast, they also have red dots. So it appears that they have two different riots taking place in Washington, also Los Angeles, California, San Francisco, California, and I see another dot here. I see 3 dots in California. So there's 3 different locations in California where these riots are taking place. Also in the middle of the United States. What state is that? I don't know. Is that is that South Dakota? I don't know. Is that Nevada? Maybe. It's 2 states up from Texas. What state is that? Listen, I'm not a geography genius, okay? It's amazing. I know where North Carolina is. I have no formal education. Bless my heart. So over here on the East Coast, it appears that we have lots of riots. It's not Missouri. Missouri is over here. Now, I know where Missouri is. It's not Missouri. These riots over here are also popping off. So it looks like, let me see here. They're not wanting me to read this article because they want me to buy news, and I don't buy news. locations. Let's see if I can find the locations. Colorado, you know, it might be Colorado, but I felt like Colorado was a little bit more up. I'm gonna look up a map in a minute because I just like to know these things when I'm learning. I like to learn, like if I learn what state that is, I'll never forget. I'll remember that before my home address. If like, you know, if my life's on the line, I'll remember that before I remember my name. Where are these? Here are the cities where the ICE raids are taking place. Chicago, New York, Aurora, Colorado. Remember, I reported on Aurora when the TDA gang took over whole apartment complexes there. Remember that? When they were extorting people in the community. So what happened was these people came from an El Salvadorian prison. They somehow made it over the border. They crept into Aurora, Colorado, and they started taking over whole apartment complexes. They would extort the manager of the apartment complex. They would bully them, lock them out of their offices, and then they would go around to all the tenants that lived in the apartment complexes, and they would be asking them for money and extorting them for money. There was surveillance footage of TDA gang members that kicked in the front door of an apartment complex in Aurora. That video was in Aurora. You see 3 guys kick in the front door, go into this apartment. They have guns. This was taking place all over Colorado, and I reported on this last year. Well, it seems like Colorado, Aurora, is one of the places that these riots have kicked off. They're destroying the city, burning stuff. This is happening from the East Coast to the West Coast. This is not something to take light. This is extremely dangerous. Extremely dangerous. And unfortunately, right now, even though Trump has deployed 2,000 troops to Los Angeles, this problem is getting worse. More riots are kicking. There's supposed to be peaceful protesting against ICE because they don't want to be deported. These are all immigrants that are here illegally who are rising up, setting cars on fire. They are shooting off stuff at cops. They're throwing bombs at cops. They are fighting with immigration and also now the National Guard. But Trump only sent 2,000 troops to LA. And it appears from that map that we just saw that we have like 8 to 12 of them on the East Coast, and then there was 3 in California, 2 in Washington State, 1 in maybe Colorado. There's over a dozen of these riots taking place with thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of immigrants that are destroying cities across the country right now. This is a huge problem. And unfortunately, it's not under control, even though he deployed 2,000 troops. It's not under control. The problem is escalating. These people are becoming more violent, more destructive, and it's crazy. We don't do retracted messages on this channel. So it looks like, I wish that the media would give us a clear picture, like a name. All they have is dots on a map. New York City, Colorado, Chicago. Hold on. Violent protests have erupted after dozens of immigrants were arrested during ICE raids in areas with significant Latino population. The National Guard has been deployed to the city of Los Angeles, leading to clashes with protesters. Dozens of people have been arrested over the weekend. Vehicles have been set afire. There have been reports of looting. Downtown Los Angeles is currently under a state of unlawful assembly. Protesters have mostly dispersed, but law enforcement is still scaling it up. I wish I would have took a picture of that map. I wish I would have took a picture of that map. So just last night, it looks like 20 people were arrested as a mob of people tried to block the feds and ICE from actually going in and raiding a place where they knew that illegals were living, and they were going to arrest them. ICE was going to deport them, and a mob of people blocked the entrance and would not allow investigators in. The feds, it says 20 arrested as mob tries to block the feds from conducting raids. Good afternoon, y'all. Deport them all. This is what I was concerned about last year when Kamala Harris was running for her presidency, because it was my belief, and I've always felt like she was allowing, her and the Biden administration was allowing these people to come here to use them for a bigger purpose. Let's see, New York, let's see, riots, news. Why can't I never find nothing on the internet, y'all? 3 hours ago. And we just read that San Francisco, they're also rioting there. And over the weekend, they did it in Los Angeles. And that's still been an ongoing thing. That is around the clock fighting. These people are in the street, and they are setting stuff on fire, looting businesses, destroying property, fighting the cops, fighting ICE. And it's just snowballing into more violent behavior. More New York City protests are expected Monday. Happy Monday. Along with demonstrations across the country against immigration raids conducted by the Trump administration Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, as tensions escalate in Los Angeles and the president's new travel ban takes effect. President Donald Trump deployed hundreds of National Guard soldiers to Los Angeles, which became the flashpoint for the weekend protests nationwide as thousands protested in the streets. Oh, but remember, the media said the other day it was just a few hundred people. Now it's thousands. You could look at surveillance footage and pictures and footage from the scene and tell that it was thousands of people out there. And some of these people are American citizens. Yep. Lefties losing it. So let's see here. The Guard was deployed specifically to protect federal buildings, including downtown detention center, where protesters concentrated. The lower Manhattan, a much smaller contingent of protesters, got involved in a standoff with police around Federal Plaza Saturday, looking to stop ongoing immigration raids. At least 9 protesters were taken into custody. Additionally, demonstrations are expected in the city Monday, including in Folly Square. In recent weeks, federal authorities have reportedly been grabbing migrants who appear at court. Yes. They show up for court, they're in this country illegally, and they're arrested and deported. Yes. What is the problem? If I don't show up for court, I'm going to have a warrant for my arrest, and if a cop sees me, he can take me to jail. It's the same thing for a citizen. If we break the law, we'll have a warrant for our arrest. They're breaking the law by being here. They knew this before they came here. It's so sad that the Biden administration led these people to behave this way. I mean, they did. They opened the door for this behavior, and now these people have been conditioned to think that they're entitled to live here now. I blame the Biden administration for this. They harmed so many people. We don't have the resources for this. American citizens are not okay. We haven't been in 5 years. Taking on all of these people and allowing these people to stay here and wreak havoc on our lives is only going to cause more problems. Amid escalating tensions over immigration enforcement, Trump's new ban on travel to the U.S. by citizens from 12 mainly African and Middle Eastern countries took effect on Monday. He's keeping us safe. He's keeping us safe, okay? Let's see here. Is that all you got to tell me? You ain't got nothing good? I'm trying to hear about... "11 minutes ago. Hello? Yeah, for sure you should. It was absolutely the liberals. That's who is also conditioning these people to behave this way. So more than 20 people were arrested yesterday at the Federal Plaza in Lower Manhattan in New York from this. Federal officials slammed Democrats for dangerous rhetoric as ICE agents face violent mobs in Los Angeles and New York. Violent protests that broke out across the country, including an attempted break-in at the Royal Listen, it's a federal building. They tried to break into that. And we all saw what happened in Minneapolis when they burnt they were setting everything on fire. During the George Floyd raids, they were looting businesses, setting storefronts on fire. They even set the precinct on fire where the cops worked, homie. I mean, this is crazy. Look at this picture. It just looks cops firing bullets and stuff. Police officers used stun grenades as officers approached protesters gathered around the Los Angeles federal building after multiple detentions by ICE agents in downtown Los Angeles Friday. Last night, over 1,000 rioters surrounded the federal law enforcement building and assaulted ICE law enforcement officers. They are literally out here assaulting police. Listen to me. They are out here fighting the people that's here to protect us, homie. They don't give a flip. They don't give a flip. They have nothing to lose. And this behavior is spreading like wildfire. This is dangerous. I hope y'all ready to fight. Hope y'all ready to fight. Thank you so much, Riff Raff. I appreciate that. I mean, for real, what if the shit hits the fan, the fits hits the shan, and shit goes south in your city tonight? And you got crazy people trying to break into your house and steal your resources. Like, this is out of hand. This is some scary stuff. This is what I warned about last year when we was letting... This is what I warned about for 4 years, is the border was open and everybody wanted to call me racist. Remember that? Because I remember that. Tons of footage on that. Remember? It's not about who these people are or where they come from. It's about the fact of how they're behaving right now. That's the principle. And we don't know who none of these people are. That border was locked down for a reason, to keep us safe. Not everybody comes here with good intentions, wanting to be a contributing member of society. A lot of these people come here with ill intent, and that has shown. The cases are out there. The women have died. The children have been killed. This is scary. It's absolutely scary. That map with all those dots where all these riots are popping off. So scary. Just in LA this week, they arrested 118 illegal immigrants, including 5 gang members and those with prior criminal histories of drug trafficking, assault, cruelty to children, domestic violence, robbery, and alien smuggling. Nationwide, there was over 2,000 illegal immigrants that were arrested last week. And they are literally out here fighting ICE and the National Guard. I mean, who we got left after that? The Marines? Like, for real. Think about it. They're there to keep us safe, and they're out there getting their ass whooped. Putting their lives in danger. Y'all want to drive to LA? I wish we could, honey. I'd be boots on the ground. This is crazy and scary. So scary. So, I want to see about the ones in Washington, and why can't I find any information on that? Washington State riot. ICE riots? It's just pulling up stuff from Los Angeles. Did I take a screenshot of that map? Oh, I didn't. I mean, look at this. This was something I found this morning. Look what they wrote on signs outside of Los Angeles. Death to America. Y'all think this is still peaceful? You think that they want to hug you? Right here. This post was funny to me. Hold on. Look at the car. It says F ICE with him holding an American flag. His stuff's burning behind him. No one reps Mexico harder than the ones who don't want to live in Mexico. Oh God, the irony. Like, why are you repping for them if you was running from them? Like, and they call me stupid. I mean, I am, but I ain't that dumb. That's crazy. That is so crazy. Why can't I find anything else about, let me see. Where are the riots? So here's the map. It was posted by Newsweek 24 minutes ago, right here, the white one. And it said that map, it says map shows locations where anti-ICE protests are planned amid the LA riots. So it's Newsweek article, you can go find it. As tensions remain between the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and immigrants in Los Angeles Monday, more rallies against the actions of Donald Trump administrations have been planned. Oh, so that's why I can't find it anywhere else. They haven't taken place yet. So exciting! Do y'all know how dangerous this is? New anti-ICE demonstrations are cropping up around the country. I should have read this to start with. Sorry, I have ADHD. After protests in Los Angeles over the weekend devolved into violent confrontations with law enforcement, President Donald Trump authorized the National Guard to go, and he warned of troops everywhere if clashes continued. The Service Employees International Union said its members would hold rallies in over a dozen cities across the country following the arrest of one of its members, David Herta, during the riots in LA over the weekend. Protesters and federal agents clashed over the weekend in LA, with over 2,000 National Guards being deployed by Donald Trump to counter those rallying against ICE's actions towards immigrants in the city. So they're planning more. They haven't popped off yet. The riots came after other protests across the country against detentions at immigration courts, schools, and workplace. Despite the Trump administration's insistence, it is going after migrants in the country illegally who pose national security threats. Listen, this is what we wanted. These people need to get over it. The SEIU said it was organizing Monday's rallies to speak out for working communities targeted by ICE in recent weeks, but no, I don't care. Who is this Herta? Who is this guy? The SEIU California President David Huerta arrested in ICE raid. So he is the president of the Service Employees International Union of California. And he's also the president of the SEIU United Service Workers. Come on, man. West president. He was injured and detained by federal agents on Friday because he was involved in the riots and he's breaking the law. Send him to El Salvador. As reported by Newsweek, hundreds of... No, so he's just some guy that's over some... He's over the Service Employees International Union. I don't even know what that is. I'm just being honest. Let's go back. All right. Oh, he's a longtime labor and civil rights leader, and he was hospitalized and taken into federal custody during the riots on Friday. So he's one of the leaders of this BS. He's on the front line leading these people to behave this way. Over a dozen cities, including New York, Philadelphia, Seattle, and Atlanta, will see riots take place in the days ahead. Here's the map where they're planning them. All up and down the East Coast. I'm so sorry. Here, let me turn this around. I've never met a man named Steve. So right here is where they're planning. Sorry, you guys. I have people that are trolls. So here we go. So they're already in San Francisco and Los Angeles. We know that they're also doing it in New York. So those are the only three places that have been said that the riots are taking place. So everywhere that you see a dot is where they're planning to do more riots, as the report just read. So that's North Carolina right there. I wonder where they're planning a riot in North Carolina. There's 2 spots in North Carolina. Look. If you zoom in, you can actually see the state line. So it looks like Charlotte and probably Greensboro. That makes sense. What is up here? Where's down there? Georgia. It's probably Atlanta, maybe? I don't know. Y'all, if y'all are in these cities, please stay safe. I would stay out of the city if you're in one of these cities. Even Washington State, they're planning 2 riots up there. I mean, it's definitely one of those things that I would advise people who are firearm owners to get you some extra ammo. You know, I mean, this is getting crazy, and you need to be prepared as always. I'm always the one saying, let's be prepared. Batteries, water, canned food, dry rice, beans, dried potatoes. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. If I learned anything from 9/11 and Y2K, it's how to prepare for things like this. And we don't. Let's see if I can find an online forum that'll tell us where these riots are going to pop off. It appears to be, from the map, Greensboro and Charlotte in North Carolina. And then y'all saw the other states, which y'all are probably more familiar with than me. It's just, this is crazy. So Newsweek is saying that even though there's only 3 riots going on currently, they're planning a dozen other riots throughout the United States this week, and this is going to get worse. So, you know, the 2,000 troops that we have are not going to be enough. There's thousands of people rioting in San Francisco, New York, and Los Angeles alone. They need more manpower, and I'm sure that Trump will take care of that. This is crazy. This is what I was concerned about when all of these people were coming through, because it doesn't take many to actually do an uprising when all systems are down. Departments have been defunded. The military has been defunded. We don't even have weaponry like we used to have. We gave it all to Ukraine. Defenses are down, and we have a lot of dummies in office that think that this is a joke. This is not a joke. This is our freedom. This is our country. And it's dangerous. So if you want to read that article, it's through Newsweek. I want to see if I can figure out where the riots are going to be in North Carolina. Where and when will people meet in North Carolina to protest ICE? Oh shit, it's happening today in Raleigh. 2 p.m. Oh fuck, I'm getting chill bumps. Whew, I wish we could go out there. Oh my God, no way. A protest and rally is scheduled for Monday, June 9th, the 25th, of 25 at 2 p.m. Eastern Time at Moore Square in Raleigh. The event, organized by the AFT and detailed on Mobilize, as part of a national movement in solidarity with the SEIU. That was the guy that was arrested. The president of the SEIU is the one that started all this shit. Good thing he's in custody and injured. I hope he gets his ass whooped in jail. It's only the American way. It's part of the national movement in solidarity with the SEIU and aims to demand the release of David. Oh God, now they're demanding that this man be released when he's done incited a freaking insurrection, a riot. Now they're wanting him to be released. So the people that are going to be protesting in Raleigh today, these idiots at 2 p.m., they're demanding that their leader, oh hell, blah, 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 their leader, what is this, Men in Black? Y'all remember that? Release him. Release him. They want their leader released. This David, his name is David Huerta. Herta? That's my best try. Herta. Fromage. All right. This is crazy. They're also going to be doing it in Chapel Hill, Durham, North Carolina, Albemarle, Southern Pines, Highlands, North Carolina, Marion, North Carolina, Hillsborough, North Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina, Henderson, and Raleigh. Several protests are scheduled across North Carolina for June 14th of 2025. They're planning this shit out for next weekend, honey. And I'm not even going to have a car. I'm going to be so fucking exposed. Those are the cities. Those are the cities in North Carolina where they're going to be riding for the next week. I told y'all. Let's read this. You want to? Okay. Several protests are scheduled across North Carolina for Saturday, June 14th of 2025, with themes related to resisting authoritarianism and promoting liberty and justice for all, which could potentially include concerns about ICE activities. So they're doing one in Chapel Hill, when 11 a.m. on Franklin Street. I told y'all that it got liberal down there. I told y'all they ruined Chapel Hill. And look where these are popping off. Durham, North Carolina. That's going to be noon. It doesn't tell me what. Well, I know that they're protesting today in Raleigh at 2 p.m. Burlington. Hold on one second. Here's the News Observer. They're calling it the No Kings anti-Trump protest all over North Carolina, including Raleigh. They're calling it the nationwide Day of Defiance. What y'all think's gonna happen between now and the 14th? I already know what's going to happen. I've seen New York and Los Angeles. No Kings is a nationwide day of defiance. From city blocks to small towns, from courthouse steps to community parks, we're taking action to reject authoritarianism, and show the world what democracy really looks like. Here's a list of the protests from Asheville all the way down. Let's read the city. This is more. Chapel Hill, Cary, Asheville. It's got times and dates. Charlotte, Clayton, Durham, Fayetteville, Jacksonville, Hillsborough, Morrisville, Pittsburgh, Raleigh, Wilmington, and Winston-Salem. Oh, they arrested people already. North Carolina, Raleigh. Hold on one second.
Hi everyone, my name is...
The North Carolina clergy rally against ICE courthouse arrests. A coalition of North Carolina clergy and immigrant advocates gathered outside the Guilford County Courthouse on Tuesday morning, June 3rd, to denounce a recent immigration enforcement actions and announce a new courthouse monitoring initiative. The press conference, organized by Cimbria, North Carolina, a grassroots organization that describes itself as opposing what it sees as abuse by ICE and President Donald Trump's immigration policies, highlighted what they said was the detention of a local man. So there's several men listed in here that were arrested. So these are people last week that were rallying against Trump's policies and plans for North Carolina, and I told y'all they were doing this 6 months ago. This is who is kicking all this stuff off. This is who is giving these illegal immigrants the back end to behave this way. It's because of some of our own citizens that these people feel entitled to stay here. It's crazy. Can we arrest Gavin Newsom already? When did that happen? 4 days ago. The 3rd. 5-6 days ago. Hundreds gather in Greensboro to shut down the boulevard. Hold on Sunday. This was yesterday. No, this was February. So even back in February, here's an article back in February where people were protesting in Greensboro, North Carolina. February 3rd of 2025. It says hundreds gather in Greensboro. They shut down part of Boulevard on Sunday to protest President Trump and ICE deportations. This was posted February 2nd of 2025. So these things have been going on. But of course the local news ain't gonna tell you that. And I didn't know. And it seems like this was peaceful. But I don't know if they're going to be peaceful, because look at LA, look at New York, look at what's going on. Like, it doesn't... History has a way of repeating itself. And I don't think that them being violent in LA is going to change when they're protesting here. I think that behavior will continue. So crazy. I cannot believe that Google will tell me when these things are going to be, but they won't tell me the facts of other stuff. Ain't that crazy? It's like Google is in on it. They want me to go to one of these protests and be problematic for the government, because I can't never find nothing on Google. But I typed in where these protests were going to be, and it tells me exactly time, dates, location. Hell, they probably will mail me a damn flag so that I can go fly it out there on the day that the damn insurrection happens. You know, it's crazy. So that was their president, David Hutter. He remains in federal custody right now. Now the people in Raleigh that are protesting today at 2 p.m., they're asking for him to be released. I hate to break it to them. I don't think that's gonna happen. Listen, you can be a terrorist if you want, but be realistic. If you're gonna make demands, be realistic. At this point, he's facing charges, it sounds like, which is why he's being detained. So he's a criminal at this point, and he's going to stay in custody. They are ridiculous. Look, it literally shows me a map to where they're having that protest today. Deport everyone that causes criminal. Yeah. Can we send Gavin Newsom? Can we send Gavin Newsom to freaking El Salvador with Karen Bass and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and AOC? Can we please? Join North Carolina workers on Monday, June 9th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time for a protest and rally at Moore Square. This is part of the national movement in solidarity with SEIU to demand that David Hutter, be set free immediately, and ICE raids must end immediately. They don't have no negotiation skills. They are literally grasping at straws. This is comical. I think it's going to get worse. I think a lot of property is going to get destroyed. I think it's going to cost us millions of dollars in taxpayer funding to fix it. Let's see what's going on in San Francisco. Three hours ago, a solidarity protest in San Francisco turns violent. Demonstrators who hope to show... Did they? Is that why they showed up with pitchforks and Molotov cocktails? They were hoping for a peaceful protest? Lord have mercy. No amount of evidence will ever convince a fool. This is from the New York Times, so excuse me while I read through the BS. So it looks like 60 people were arrested yesterday in downtown San Francisco. San Francisco. 2 police officers were injured. Public transit vehicles were damaged. It quickly turned violent with protesters and police officers physically fighting on a downtown street. Y'all, my hair, sorry. They were throwing anything and everything that they could. They were tossing at officers. Protesters were also screaming racist things at officers. Protesters were picking up metal barricades and pushed themselves towards the officers, who pushed them back, both sides grasping at the same blockades and ramming them at each other. Soon it appeared that both sides were brawling. And they have every right to whoop that ass. I wish I was there. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Is that it? That's what you giving me? News. Yo, it's hot. The heat's kicking. Hello. Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder if it's going to be on the evening news. Raleigh psychos, peaceful protest in Raleigh. How do these people get off of work for this stuff? Could you imagine? Gavin Newsom needs to be in jail. I saw him talk this morning. He's such an idiot. I can't believe Californians fell for that. I can, actually. Everybody fell for Joe Biden. Raleigh protests 2 p.m. Moore Street. Free David in ICE raids now protest rally. This is crazy. Put Pelosi in jail. Absolutely. We I mean, by law, as much dirt as she's done, you'd think that we could damn put her on trial for a death sentence, but unfortunately, we can't. March 9th. It's called what? The Hands Off Public Service Rally? Ugh. Joe's a trip. Joe's burning in hell. That's not it. They're calling it the Free David rally. There it is. That's the posting for the rally today in Raleigh. They're demanding that he be set free. He was arrested in Los Angeles over the weekend. He's the leader of the SEIU or something, which is what kicked all of this stuff off. You don't have rights. These people are so dumb, they don't realize that they don't have rights. You're not an American citizen, honey. You have no rights. They're saying, look, this is a clear attack on our communities, workers, and our First Amendment rights. You're here illegally, baby. You have no rights. God, it's like people cannot be this dumb, but clearly they are. They're out here in the streets setting our cities on fire, fighting our military, fighting our ICE agents. They clearly are dumb. If you think that you can just hop over that border and have fucking rights, you're stupid as shit. And you deserve to be in an El Salvadorian prison, because the fact is you've took food off of American families' tables. You've took jobs and money out of American families' wallets, and the fact is it's been a strain on our resources, and it's wrong. Once again, God wants you to love others, but not to the point that you're putting your life in danger. This is our lives in danger. This is crazy. And these people think they got rights because the Biden administration made them feel like they had some. So they're demanding that this guy be set free today in Raleigh. It's crazy. Yeah. Look, there he is. These loons, they call me crazy. I might be, but I ain't this crazy. These loons. On Friday afternoon, military gear clad ICE agents launched an aggressive raid through Los Angeles. Is that what we're going with? We just gonna start off with lies. It's your lie. I'm gonna let you tell it, and I'm gonna finish reading it. The protesters are the ones that got violent. The protesters are the ones that started looting businesses and setting things on fire, to the point that the Trump administration had to call in over 2,000 service members to get this under control, and it's still not under control, and it's spreading like wildfire. They're planning more riots through over half a dozen states. They're planning another dozen riots on the East Coast and the West Coast combined, and somewhere in the middle of the state. I couldn't figure out what state that was yet. He says in this that this is an attack on their First Amendment rights. They are crazy. Crazy. Hell, I'm an American citizen and I don't have no damn rights because I'm too poor to have them. You ain't alone, homie. I get it, but I'm a citizen and I don't have no rights. How dare you think that you got some and you ain't even a citizen? That makes you double dumb. You ain't got rights unless you got money in this country. And that's a fact. This is crazy. I don't know what's going to happen, but it sounds like shit might pop off in Raleigh at 2 p.m. And you know I'm going to be honed in on what's happening. I already got my watch set for 2 p.m. to see what happens. And you know, North Carolina for decades now has been a hot spot for Hispanic, Latino immigration. North Carolina has had a history of opening its doors and being, you know, they do a lot of, I don't know what to call it. They've allowed people since the 60s to flock here from Mexico and other South American countries. And so it's a melting pot. It's a hot spot for Latinos. And that's never been a problem. But in recent years, as I've told you guys, and it's so funny because Winston-Salem, North Carolina was on that list. And that's where I told you guys that I bet you they saw, I bet money that Winston-Salem saw 500,000 immigrants come through that city in 5 years. I bet you money. I bet you money. I'll find a number someday that concurs with what I'm claiming. That is my belief, that we had an influx of around 500,000 immigrants come to North Carolina between 2020 and 2025. If you take a cruise down the streets of Winston-Salem, you will see what I'm talking about. It's so crazy that they're on that list. So I'm interested to see what happens to Winston-Salem. I'm interested to see what happens to Greensboro. When is the Winston-Salem ICE riot? What is it called? ICE protest 2025. So it looks like June 14th. June 14th. And then June 6th, they did one in Wilmington. Oh, that was for something else. Never mind. Google. It's crazy. Yeah. North Carolina, if this shit gets bad, it'll probably hit here harder than anywhere else because of the amount of people that we have here. As far as like immigrants that came here. Protests and rallies are expected to take place soon across North Carolina as part of the nationwide day of defiance against authoritarianism and Donald Trump. It will start for Flag Day, which is Saturday, June 14th. They are being organized in towns and cities across the country, including several in the Triangle. I don't know, man. Hold on, here's the list again. So it looks like the one that they're doing in Winston-Salem is a LGBTQ plus celebration. So I was wrong about that. Oh, they're doing a parade Pride Day in Winston-Salem. So it's called the No Kings. Chapel Hill, Asheville. It doesn't give me specific dates. When was this even wrote? God. Day before yesterday. I don't know. I think that people need to prepare for the worst. Per usual, what I always say. Hope for the best. Prepare for the worst. Oh. That's what I always do. Y'all, I'm tired. Why are people arguing? Lord, y'all. Hey, Ben. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm kind of hungry, but I don't know what I want, and I don't know what I got. So they just said that they updated from what's going on in Los Angeles, and it looks like more buildings. The National Guard is saying that they're overwhelmed with the destruction, and more places are being looted. So it's spiraling out of control. My phone's not working. Jesus Christ, I wish y'all could see these pictures. Was looted. I believe it. They're looting everything. So this was 2 hours ago, June 9th of 25. Chaos erupted in downtown Los Angeles as immigration protests get out of hand for a third day straight. Protesters face off with police all day Sunday, with things getting intense at times. All of this while Governor Gavin Newsom continued his public criticism of President Donald Trump, and the White House blaming the administration for exploiting the situation unfolding in Southern California. Gavin Newsom would let y'all be murdered in the streets in cold blood and not do a damn thing about it. How bad does this problem have to get before somebody takes control of the situation? Trump had to take control of the situation, and I'm glad he did. Now Gavin Newsom is saying that he's going to sue Trump. Newsom plans a lawsuit against Trump's administration over deployment of the National Guard. So you just going to let people you going to let it get to the point to where civilians are being slaughtered? They're already burning businesses, fighting the cops, fighting ICE, setting shit ablaze, throwing stuff. How bad does it have to get before somebody takes control? Thank God Trump is in office, because people would probably be getting slaughtered by now. People need to wake up. Gavin Newsom has done nothing good for the state of Florida. He put you guys into this situation. He is the enemy. And he would let the whole city, the whole state of California burn before he lifted a finger to do anything but criticize somebody else. He's a lazy bastard. Look at this. How bad does it have to get? How bad? Hold on one second. How bad does it have to get? I think that's pretty bad. I mean, I think that's like as bad as it can get, if you ask me. You know, whole cars burning and melting in the street. Hold on. How bad? How bad does it need to be to deploy the National Guard to allow Trump to protect us all? How bad does it have to be? Because it's pretty damn bad. I don't know if you're seeing this, but it's pretty damn bad. Gavin Newsom would leave y'all in the streets bleeding and not even bat an eye. Thank God for Trump, right? Because imagine if Kamala Harris was in office. Oh, she would be inciting this stuff. She would be promoting this stuff. She would allow people to kill us. That's what they were hoping to do. This is what they wanted, in my opinion. This is what they were looking for, but on a much larger scale, in my opinion. It's crazy. It's super scary. I think that people need to be prepared because it might get worse before it gets better. Everybody's sitting at home watching that Trump and this administration has no control over the matter, that the rioters are actually destroying stuff and getting by with this behavior. Who's to say they don't act the same when they go to these protests this coming weekend today? There's one scheduled for Raleigh today at 2 p.m. Who's to say that that doesn't break out and then all of these people get it in their mind to completely take over this country? Don't say it's not possible. It's happened before. So it would just be history repeating itself. I wonder what other country let in a bunch of people. Thank you, Mickey. I appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. I wonder how many other countries have been overthrown by immigrants. Let's see if there's a country. What country was overthrown completely by immigrants that they allowed into their country? Yeah, Tom Homan. I like him. I do. I like Tom Homan. I do. I have a Cash App at the top of my page. Let's see here. Here's somebody on Quora asking the same question I'm asking. Well, at least there's one other person out here that thinks like me. I already know the realities. People have killed for far less than land and property. People die every day across this world for less than land and property and status and power and government. People have died for less. It's not far-fetched to think that somebody would put their lives on the line to attempt to take over a country. It's more probable than not. Yes, there are historical examples where immigrant or refugee populations have significantly changed the demographics and governance of a country, though the term taken over can be complex and context dependent. Here's a few notable instances. The United States. Throughout the 19th and 20th century, waves of immigrants from Europe, Asia, and Latin America transformed the cultural, social, and political landscape of the U.S. While these groups did not take over in a military sense, they significantly influenced American identity and policy. Number two, the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire experienced various waves of migration, including the influx of refugees from the Balkans and other regions. Over time, these populations contributed to the empire's demographics and cultural influence, governance, and social structures. The fall of the Roman Empire. The migration of various tribes such as the Vandals, Visigoths, and the Ostrogoths into Roman territory contributed to the decline of Western Roman Empire. These groups sometimes settled in Roman lands, leading to a significant changes in governance and culture. Israel. The establishment of the State of Israel in 1948 saw a significant influx of Jewish immigrants from Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa, many of whom were refugees fleeing persecution. These migrations played a crucial role in shaping the demographics and political landscape of the region. Rwanda. Following the Rwandan genocide in 1994, many Hutu refugees fled the neighboring countries. The return of Tutsi Refugees and the subsequent political changes they brought about significantly altered Rwanda's governance and society. Very interesting stuff. Yeah, the alphabet people, no doubt. Italy, I believe. Thank you. The audacity. Where do they buy that shit from? Where do they buy the audacity from? Can I get me some? I want a bottle of audacity. Y'all, it's so hot in here. Oh my God. Yeah, exactly, Jimmy. And you know, the crazy thing is I haven't been able to find work. I was really hoping that all of these deport efforts were going to bring me like a wave of a job. I don't know. I think that they're going to have to arrest, you know, millions of people, and it's going to be a slow process. I mean, even though they're arresting 2,000-3,000 illegals a week, it's still going to be a slow process, you know. They keep trying to say that these people are needed here. No. We have 7.8 million people and counting in the job market. We need our jobs. It's ridiculous. I can't believe we even ever had to have this discussion. It's crazy. It's not even logical. We're in a housing crisis. We got high inflation. We're in a job shortage. And you bring millions of people here to take up those resources that we need as American citizens? It's not even logical. They were planning something. They were planning something, honey. They were planning something. You know, there was people in Springfield, Ohio that worked in grocery stores that would see the grocery receipts from some people, mainly Haitian immigrants, and some of their receipts would have over $13,000. One woman said that she saw $26,000 on an EBT receipt. That's what was left on the card. The way that EBT works is they give them a card, and then let's say they get $1,000 a month. Let's say they go spend $100. The receipt will have the $900 balance that is still left on the card printed at the bottom. And so there was service workers that worked at Walmart and, you know, food stores, and they would look at the bottom of the receipts of these immigrants that spoke no English, by the way. There was thousands of these reports coming out from all over the country in different cities, and it's like the Biden administration sent a ton, over 60,000 Haitian immigrants to the middle of Springfield, Ohio. There's not even enough jobs for the citizens of Springfield, Ohio. This is a town that I do believe had less than 42,000 people that even lived there. Why would you migrate 60,000 people into a city with 40,000 people that some of which were looking for work at the time? They were planning something. They didn't just do this in Springfield. They did it in Aurora. They did it all over New York. They did it in California. Any city that was accepting of illegal immigration and wanting federal funding to take in immigrants, like North Carolina, the cities have been ruined. They were overrun by different populations. It started affecting people's insurance because of the car accidents, because of the amount of illegal immigrants we had driving around with no license. And, you know, in a lot of these cities, like Colorado and Springfield, when there was 2 people that was killed in Springfield, an old lady that was checking her mail, and then a boy that was on a school bus. The school bus was hit by an illegal who didn't have a license. In both of the cases, they did not have a license. They should not have been on the road, and the cops let both of those illegal immigrants go after they hit and killed somebody. It's crazy. It's crazy. You know, These people that come here for a better life, they sit back and watch and see what policymakers and politicians are doing and who they're backing and what's going on. And they're riding off the coattails from a bunch of liberal people who were stuffing money in their pockets, tax dollars. They did all of this for money. We know that now. Look at all of the fraud that has been revealed just in the past 6 months. They just discovered a $66 million EBT scam out of New York. $66 million. It's crazy. No wonder we're broke. Everybody's got their hand in the honey pot. And politicians for a long time, for 5 years, only cared about illegal immigrants. They did not take care of us for 5 years. They didn't care about us. And now these illegals feel like they're entitled to stay here. They feel like they have rights when they don't. They're breaking the law by being here. And this stuff is probably going to get worse before it gets better. It sounds like they're planning rallies all over the place. And, you know, the sad thing is this is what I said last year when we had illegals coming through the border, specifically the Chinese immigrants. We had over 100,000 Chinese immigrant military-age men that was coming through the border, and it's always the same. They literally had their special processing camp. They would have a processing camp on the side of Texas, a processing camp for Latinos and South Americans, and then they had a whole nother processing camp for Chinese illegals, which was extremely weird to me. Over 100,000, I do believe. And they just come here, and a lot of them were busted for crimes, technology, cyber stuff. They were trying to commit cyber crimes by even being in the United States. None of these people were vetted. None of these people were checked. We don't know where these people come from. We don't know who they work for. We just had 2 students. What was that, Michigan? There was a man and a woman that was caught bringing in fungi from another country that it was intended to kill our crops. And one of them was an exchange student from China, but I think she went to Michigan University or something. And she said that this guy was her boyfriend, so he flies over here with this fungus, and they were planning to do something with it to our crops. This fungus would have killed our crops, specifically wheat, barley, rice, stuff like that. So these things happen. These people that have come here, they came here with intentions, not all of them good, and we've heard the stories, we've seen what they're capable of. It's just crazy that anybody would be trying to allow these people to stay. Like, you really have lost your mind. They tell me I'm crazy, but at least I'm not as crazy as a lefty, right? Yeah, in the UK, y'all are another one. Y'all have had massive immigration issues. Hell, y'all's freedom of speech has pretty much been yanked from y'all. Y'all can't say nothing no more. You'll go to jail. They'll knock on your door at 2 a.m. and take you to jail for saying that some girl was fat on the internet. Ain't that crazy? Tommy tried to warn y'all. Tommy Robinson told y'all what was going to happen, and nobody listened. They called him crazy. Now he's in prison. Tommy tried to warn everybody. He's been one of the few people that was fighting for y'all. When did he get out of jail? Is he married? Should I send him a love letter? I would if he wasn't married. I think he's married. They called him a racist. He's a British political activist that has been on the forefront of fighting for the UK to have their rights and continue to have their rights. And he was a firm dis-supporter, if that's a word. He firmly disapproved of illegal immigration, which has led the UK into a whole shit ton of problems. And he got out last week. No way, Lindsay. I hope so. It doesn't tell me anything. What in the world? Hold on. Here's an article from March. It says he might be released early. I hope that's the case. It'll get to a point here like that. I mean, we're already halfway there. Come on, man. The far right, we're just going to say, his 18-month sentence for contempt of court was reduced after a hearing at the High Court. My phone is glitching. They don't. And they're supposed to, what's the word? Acclimate, assimilate, integrate. And they don't. They don't. Not all. Now, I've talked about this before. The immigrants from the 1940s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, they absolutely acclimated to American culture. They absolutely had respect for American culture. They came here with the intention of living the American dream and having their shot at it. That's not the people that came here in 2020, honey. This is a whole different generation of Hot Mess Express. These people have no desire to assimilate. I think that's the word. And they actually revolt against it, expecting us to change our culture to acclimate to them. What's the word? They want us to change our laws, our culture, our history to validate them. The immigrants from way back in the day are completely different than this wave of immigration that we had. We literally had some of the worst coming over that border because they couldn't make it in Mexico. So let's go try the American dream. Let's go do the same life of insanity, raping, torturing, kidnapping women and children, selling drugs, repping for our gang. Let's go do that in America since it worked so great in Mexico for us, or any other South American country, or any South American country. You get what I'm saying? It's different. The ones that came over the border during the Biden administration were known, the ones that are being arrested, we're seeing how many were actual criminals in El Salvador or Mexico. We're seeing how many of them were problematic in their home country, and then they come here implementing the same behavior here. It's different. These are not the same people from the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s that immigrated here to start businesses, to get educated, to build successful things in American culture. This country has thrived with immigrants. We need immigrants. I support immigration, especially student exchange and certain marital visas. You know, you can't help who you love. But the way that this went down with that border being open and all of these people going unchecked and all of these people wreaking havoc and committing crime here, this is a different generation of immigrants. So he had a hearing at the High Court on Tuesday in May 20th of 25. Tommy Robinson was jailed last October because he ignored an order not to repeat false allegations about a Syrian refugee who successfully sued him for libel. Libel? Huh. The 42-year-old is due to be released from prison within the next week. So he went to jail for a false statement. Do you know how many people make false statements against me? Every day, thousands. I've heard more lies in far comparison to how many truths I've heard. He went to jail because he had an opinion. He was originally due to be released from prison on July 26th. He was released after 7 months in jail. And it looks like it was like May 27th of this year. They've been after him for a minute. I'm reading his criminal history and it's laughable. Robinson served 4 prison terms between 2005 and 2019. In 2013, he illegally entered the United States using a friend's passport. First of all, I feel like whoever the TSA was should be under the jail for letting him in. They fell for it. It's their fault. It's their job to prevent these things from happening. Yeah, he shouldn't have done it, but I have more problem with the TSA letting him use his friend's passport that legally entered the United States. If it's that easy, that tells you how big these problems are. In 2018, he violated a court order by publishing a Facebook Live video of defendants entering a courtroom. So he filmed someone entering a courtroom, which probably had to do something with him, and he posted it to Facebook Live, and he violated a court order, and they sent him to jail. Then he was in contempt of court. For something he said. He disagreed with somebody. They're trying to say that it was false claims, but I have no proof that it was false claims, so I'm going to say it was his opinion until I know otherwise. Manchester. Yeah, I've seen how, I don't know, how they've painted him in the media, and I just don't agree with it. I don't know a lot about his history, but I think that it's crazy that he went to jail. It's like they're out for blood, you know. They get tunnel vision, and they'll slap him with any charge, even ridiculously small or not, just to lock him up. This is not about him making a false statement. This is about them getting back at him any way that they can. Just like what they done to Trump. The UK has seen record levels of net migration in recent years, with the figure reaching over 728,000 in the year ending in June of 2024. It's still higher than most years in the past decade. This is putting pressure on public services. The influx of migrants has put pressure on already strained public services like the NHS and housing. Same thing in America. Housing concerns. Some argue that record immigration necessitates building a large number of new homes to meet demands. Gaps in the labor market, particularly in social care, have been substantially filled by migrants. Potential impact of policy changes. Care providers express concerns that restricting the recruitment of foreign workers could exacerbate the social care staffing shortages. I'll take a job. Call me. I'll move to the UK. The media makes it sound like we absolutely have to keep these people here and in the UK, because if we don't, then we're going to fall into economic collapse because nobody's going to be working. Who wants to tell the media that we have millions of people looking for work right now because of the influx of immigration? Who wants to tell them? Because I think somebody needs to notify them. How many people are out of it? Are y'all having a job crisis in the UK as well? How many people are unemployed in the UK? Almost 2 million people. Unemployment is sitting at 4.5. $1.61 million. Hmm. Are they, John? Where? Y'all, I'm biting my lips. Stress. Let me see. Oh, they're speaking out against it? That's a shock. That is a shock. What's the name of it? I'll look into it, Ted. What's the name of it? Fox. Thank you. Hell, what am I saying? I'm not even going to have a car to get to work. Still, though, tell me what the name of the company is, and I'll look into how to fill out an application online. I'm not going to have a car to get to work, but I'll do it anyways. I'll do it anyways. Here it is. Where's my chapstick? I took it out of that bag this morning. Remember? And I said, this is perfect. You need this. Chapstick. You want some? You can have some, just don't spit on it. Don't backwash on my chapstick. Don't lip spit on my chapstick. Somebody says in the comments, it's a freaking invasion! With explanation points. Hold on. It's crazy. Migrants are a problem in Finland and Sweden. I know it's been a huge problem all over the country. You know, a lot of these countries take note from what we do, and they saw that we had our borders open, and then they took note of that and did the same, thinking that it would be great for them. Like, our Biden administration was saying it was great for us when it clearly was not. And so a lot of these countries take lead from us. The Biden administration put a lot of people into a lot of problems. This is going to be something that we're going to have to clean up over like a decade. It's not going to happen overnight. It could be a decade before we get some financial release, and that's only if we keep a Republican in office, because we know what the Democrats are about. They tried to just kill us, in my opinion.
Bracing for fourth day protests over the federal immigration raids in LA County.
Blah, blah, blah. Tell me the important part. They have 3 LAPD officers that have been injured. They ain't telling us nothing. Nothing. Hold on, let me screenshot that. There we go. Yeah, well, they're not anymore. I don't know why it blocked your message, Doug. He's not saying anything worth a damn. Oh, so he's saying that ICE is overstepping their boundaries, that they have no right to show up to people's jobs and schools and arrest people. Cry me a river. Cry me a river. Let me tell you something. If I had a warrant for my arrest, they would show up to my house or my school to arrest me because I broke the law and they had a warrant to arrest me. It doesn't matter if you're taking a shit or if you're floating down a river, honey. If you got a warrant, you got a warrant. Better man up. Put your big girl panties on and deal with it. Get over it. Climb that mountain like a hill. Cry you a river and slide down it. Make you a slip and slide out your own tears. Out your own tears. Let's see if it started in Raleigh yet. Raleigh news on King protest. I see where they posted to have the event in the newsobserver.com, but I don't see anything about it. Doesn't start till 2 o'clock. So if something does pop off, it'll be on the evening news, but hopefully it doesn't. I hope these people don't get out there and damn get wrapped up in some stupid shit. Because it's a lot of North Carolinian citizens too. It's like North Carolinians that grew up here that are trying to protest ICE arresting these people. And if it's in Raleigh, then you know it's mainly liberals, right? If you don't know, let me tell you. It just said protests and rallies are expected to take place across North Carolina as part of a nationwide day of defiance against President Donald Trump. It's hot, y'all. So crazy. So crazy. They're not anymore. The Democrats are what put us in this position. This is electrolytes. I need to go use the bathroom, but I'm being lazy. I guess I'll go in a minute. Oh, what a day. What a day. Let's go use the bathroom. It's hot. The air is not helping. It's so hot. It's just beating down on the car. phone to charge, so I'm gonna leave it running. Hot. Hungry. Starving, actually. Shush it, Betty. People that don't pull into parking spaces, they show you who they are. That's some entitlement right there. When they park sideways and take up like 4 spaces. Oh. Let's check these 17,000 freaking emails. Job case, that's another one that I got. I guess I got like 8 or 9. Job case sent me a job for an outpatient registered nurse position when I have my resume, my job experience, and my education all typed into their app. They still send me stuff for a registered nurse position knowing good and well I don't have the education, experience, or none of that. Why would you even send that to me? You have my complete resume, all of that. It's crazy. That's another one I got. Job case. I forgot about them. Because I never... Oh, jobs to careers. What's the other ones? Glassdoor, as I've told y'all. Indeed. Snag a job. Job case. The Commonwealth of Kentucky. Coach cleaner for Amtrak. They won't hire me. FedEx. They won't hire me either. I've already tried. Alright, how do I clear these out? Do I have to click on everyone individually? Here we go. I don't think I've ever even had an interview off a job case, which is why I stopped using them, because I would fill out a few dozen applications a day, because they also have the one-step apply. So you put in your resume, you put in your job history, you put in your education, all your references, all of that. You complete a profile just like you do on Indeed and Glassdoor, and then you apply for jobs, and the employer that you're applying for can pull all of that information right out of the system. I've never had a job call me back from job case, and I've probably filled 2,000 or 3,000 applications out there, and I've never even gotten an interview there. So I would not recommend job case. ZipRecruiter is another one that I have. I forgot about them. This is a one-step apply. It's a Panera Bread. They won't hire me. I've already applied to like 100 of them, because I would love a Panera Bread job. They never even call me back to set up an interview, but I still keep applying in hopes. Ugh. Anyone sexually harassing me will be blocked. Anyone being rude will be blocked. Oh, the children on the internet. Zaxby said they give paid holidays. Lowe's won't hire me either, which sucks, because that'd be like a dream job for me. ZipRecruiter. See right here, it says one-click apply. One-click apply. Here, I'll show you. See, it says one-click apply, one-click apply. You can fill out a few hundred applications. Once you set up your profile online, you can fill out, I'd say if you were doing 8 hours a day, oh, you could fill out 1,000 job applications in a day. 100%. If you were sitting there for 8 hours filling out every application online, and there's not that many places that are hiring, so it wouldn't take a whole day. I've applied to every job on Indeed for the past 2 years. Even stuff that I don't even qualify for, just a shot in the dark. Maybe they'll call me and give me a chance. But if you sit here for 8 hours, you could absolutely fill out 500 to 1,000 applications with the one-click apply. This is the way of the world now. This is how people get jobs now. There's no personalism, or there's no personal aspect to the job hiring anymore. So I'm going to apply to all 3 of these. It takes me into the website, into ZipRecruiter. Point Vera Beach. It's a bartender position. You have applied. Right there at the bottom. You have applied. Yeah, girl. So about 42,000 other ones too. So there's only 3 new ones on there today. It was Panera Bread, bartender, and bartender. One was in Jacksonville Beach, and the other one is at Point Vera Beach. And then the Panera Bread was in Raleigh. So I can actually get jobs from any location. And I think on my ZipRecruiter, I have like 4 different places listed. North Carolina, parts of Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina. So I get all kinds of stuff, jobs, openings from all of those states on different ones. My Indeed, you have to specifically look up a city and state on Indeed to get them to send you certain things through your email. Head pastry chef. I don't qualify. Here's a bartending position. Where is this? Without a car, I won't be able to work, so I don't even know why I'm wasting my time, because that's what I do. I always put my best foot forward. I always try, and I always persevere. That's why. You never know what tomorrow can bring. They might call me back and say, hey, we noticed we messed up your paperwork like we originally said, and we'll give you a deferment for the next 2 months since you owe for 2 months, and maybe they'll defer it and not ask me for any money and do what they're supposed to do. I'll take a deferment if it's for free. I'm not paying for it. Glassdoor. What is this? Oh, I thought it was a job. It's a damn social forum. Somebody just tried to call me. Oh, here we go. Brooke, thanks for applying for blah, blah, blah on ZipRecruiter. Yeah, I know. Well, that's it. That's all that's new today. It's so hot. I got the air going and it's hot. Like, it's hot where I'm sitting. I can feel the heat in my face. And it'll only get worse because I'm about to run out of gas. I'm trying to charge my devices before I got 66 miles till empty before I run out of gas. I don't know what'll happen. They'll probably tow my truck. I'm in a Walmart parking lot, so they don't like that shit. Not here. Arrest Newsom. Amen. Newsom and Bass in prison now. Amen. offended by everything, ashamed of nothing, entitled to everything, contributing to nothing. Amen.
Drug offenses. One arrest includes a gang member convicted of murder after shooting up a high school graduation party, killing 2 teens and injuring 7 others. By Sunday morning, hundreds of National Guard members were on duty in downtown LA at the request of President Trump, who says he will do whatever he can to bring peace back to the city.
This is crazy. I stand with President Trump too. America may, okay, so they're not even reporting on this issue, what I've been reporting on for the past hour. They're not even reporting on this issue in the United States, but guess what they're saying around the world? They're saying that we're on the brink of civil war, because we are. Because we are. Who is this from? Sky Australia. Thank you, Sky. Thank you so much, Sky News, for telling me the truth for 2 years. You helped turn me into one of the best little conservative galleys ever. Thank you, Sky News. And India News. Shout out to India. I get a lot of news from India. Thank you so much for for being the shining beacon, the beacon of light. Thank you, India and Australia. I have to go around the world to get my news because the media in the West is bought and paid for.
And last Friday, Immigration and Customs Enforcement officials raided several locations in Latino areas of Los Angeles, looking for illegal workers, arresting dozens.
Somebody said it's hard to call it a civil war when they're waving Mexican flags. They were shooting fireworks at them.
And what I thought was really telling is that many in the crowd that was attacking police and the National
You're a
Guard
loser.
waved Mexican flags, like there was some sort of invading foreign army. And they chanted slogans in Spanish. Others wore Palestinian keffiyehs and came to
So
march,
apparently,
almost like
they weren't just fighting, they were actually exploding fireworks.
And here we go again. Trump this time.
So they were
elected,
exploding
promising to
fireworks
expel
into the
million
crowd of
illegal
cops.
immigrants from the US. And last Friday, Immigration and Customs
Come
Enforcement,
on, shh.
of course, they set cars alight. And what I
Jesus
thought was really
Christ.
telling is that many in the crowd that was attacking police and the National Guard waved Mexican flags, like there was some sort of invading foreign army. And they chanted slogans in Spanish.
Ain't that crazy? You're repping for a whole nother country saying that you have rights in this country? How stupid. How stupid. Look at this. Who looks like they're the aggressor? Let's watch the video and see who the aggressors are. Because it didn't look like the National Guard or the cops were the aggressors to me. They're not setting stuff on fire. We're not going to let them get away with it. If we see danger to our country and our citizens, then we'll be very, very strong in terms of law and order. It's about law and order. Hold on one second.
Called what you just saw, these riots are overwhelmingly
Peaceful, my left gonad.
Country's top foreign affairs writer, Greg Sheridan of The Australian. Greg, to me, this overwhelmingly peaceful demonstration actually looked like an insurrection by, among others, foreigners aided by Americans.
Let's see what this guy says. I want to see if he thinks that it's, like, dangerous. Y'all see me putting the vape up to my ear?
liable to be deported. So Trump has deployed the National Guard in the first instance to protect federal property and the federal ICE agents. Now, if Gavin Newsom and the mayor of Los Angeles were cooperating. So anti-ICE rioters in LA blocking the highway and setting fire to the city in protest of Trump's
This is an hour ago.
illegal immigration crackdown.
Jonathan Hunt is live outside.
This is getting worse.
Center in downtown Los Angeles with the latest. Jonathan?
It's telling me my phone's too hot to charge. Charging will resume when the iPhone is not hot. What in the world? Oh. What in the world? Where's my shoes? I didn't even go into the gym. I didn't even go in to lift weights. It's okay though. I have plenty of time to lift weights when I'm without a car. I better enjoy, being comfortable in my car until they come and get it. It's so hot today too. I don't know how I do it. I'm so proud of myself, I've had no one in my corner for 5 years, and I've managed to do better than most people, I'm proud of myself. One day I'll get to the point where I can help others the way that I helped myself, I know what needs to be done. I know what the mission is. I know how it needs to be done. I have a first-hand knowledge into these things. So it just sucks that everything turned out like this. It's so hot. I was hoping they were going to call me and maybe give me an update as to what day or when or what time they're going to pick the truck up. She said on Allie this morning, as y'all heard, she said that they will call me and notify me when they want to pick it up. I'm not the type of person that can go to bed at night knowing that I've done some evil shit. And so this is partially because, and I'm going to continue to. That's all I can do. That's all I can do. God has been the only person there for me. My whole life. My whole life. He's been the only one. I wonder what I got to eat. I need to eat something. That's the biggest thing. Going through this level of stress and everything, you're going to have to eat. If you don't eat, your mental health is going to slip. Well, that's all I got. Everything else has to be cooked, and I don't have a way to cook anything now. So I got apples and pretzels. We'll be grateful. When I got clean 5 years ago, I knew that I was going to have to break ties with the industry, because as soon as I got clean, I went back to stripping, and the environment was different. I was different, because I wasn't on drugs anymore. I wasn't being conditioned. I wasn't being forced to go in there, because at this point, I'd completely separated myself from my abuser. So there was no one forcing me to go in there, and I decided to leave. And I made a clean cut. I'm glad I did. Not once did it ever dawn on me to go back into that type of environment to save this truck. I'll never put my life in danger for materialistic things. The only thing I'll put my life in danger for is Jesus Christ. And I do every day. Every time I speak his name, people don't want to hear it. And they've done studies on it. It actually infuriates people to hear Jesus' name. Makes them mad. That'll only get worse. Hey, Emily. There is power in his name, you're right. Hey, Hugo. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It is irrelevant. I wonder how long I'm going to be able to sit here before the cops roll up. They don't like homeless people in this town. I gotta be here. My court date's here. Once they take the truck, I still have court. If I miss that court date, I'll be in so much trouble. The court date is because they arrested me for crimes that I didn't commit, and they're dismissing the charges. So I have to show up to sign paperwork to get these charges dismissed, and I have no way to get there. I've never been through this before. I've always had a car my whole life. I've worked my whole life. It's only been since 2021, when the job market went to shit and all these businesses started closing down, that I haven't been able to find work. I've always worked. I love to work. Matter of fact, I got 2 or 3 jobs since I had this channel, and people called and got me fired from my job, so whatever. That just happened last month. I got a job at a hookah lounge, and the trolls on the internet went and called my job, made up a bunch of lies, said that I was on drugs, said that I did all kinds of stuff. I think he even said that I sold drugs. That I was on drugs, sold drugs, did all kinds of drugs. Give me a fucking break. I've been on probation for 6 fucking months for crimes I didn't commit. Give me a fucking break. Only an idiot would say that I was on drugs. They say that because they're doing drugs. That's what projecting is. They're too scared to get off the drugs that they do, so they try to come and tear down a woman who does nothing but help others focus on recovery. That's Satan, honey. That's Satan. He runs this world. God talks about that in the Bible. I actually fought like hell to come off Suboxone by myself. I made a personal choice. I did that in October of last year after 4 years of being on Suboxone. And I remember asking God, I was in a jail cell, and I was like, for crimes I didn't commit. And the lady, and I remember talking to God and being like, so this is what we're doing. I want to do this, but I need your help. And you know, when I look back, the withdrawal symptoms were bad. But when I look back, I don't remember a lot of pain going through that. And it was probably because God was with me. You know what I mean? He really got me through getting off of black tar heroin. And then he got me off of the Suboxone as well. And I'm just so grateful. Everything does happen for a reason, you know? Including losing this truck. I'm at peace because God has a plan for me. And Satan ain't gonna stop me. They're harsh to homeless people because they're easy prey. I'm not easy prey. I'm not going to be able to. And we called the repo people this morning. They're supposed to be calling me to tell me when they're going to pick it up. That's what I'm waiting on. I shared my financial records yesterday, and I showed you guys why I couldn't keep the truck. My paycheck from Google is less than $700 a month, even though I had a 256% increase on views this month. 256% increase in views. And my check's still $700, which is not even enough to pay for the truck. You know the saddest part? Guess what my APR on this car was? 3%. That'll never happen again. I'll never be able to get another vehicle. I'll be on the streets indefinitely now. So, this was my last opportunity. I bought this truck when I was working 2 jobs, and I had money coming in 2020 after I got clean. 2021. And the economy is just nosedived so bad, I can't keep up. Can't keep up with the maintenance. Can't keep up with the gas. Can't keep up with the truck. It's not my fault. I work every day. Every day. 7 days a week. Sometimes 12 to 16 hours a day. Not to mention being a full-time student, looking for work, which is a full-time job in itself. I went above and beyond, and I'm proud of myself for sticking out to do what I've done, you know. I've stayed clean. I've broke the chains of confinement. I'm just proud of myself. It's exhausting living out of a car. And it's going to be even harder on the streets. But clearly God has a plan for me. There's something so freeing about knowing that you're living your life like you're supposed to, and that He's going to take care of you. It's just part of His plan, and you just got to go along for the ride, honey. You got to go along for the ride, you know? I prayed for peace last night. I woke up with peace. I wonder what the news is going to say about Raleigh today. I wonder what the news is going to say about Raleigh. I don't care what anybody says about me. I don't want anybody's money. No, nobody cash at me. I don't want anybody's money. I've never wanted anybody's money. And matter of fact, that got me into a whole shit show of problems. I had some guy that wanted to date me that was trying to trap me into a toxic, abusive situation financially. It's called financial abuse. He wanted me to move to Texas and be his little girlfriend after I told him that I cannot date because I suffer from CPTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder from being held hostage and raped for 20 years. These perverts come and they see a girl in my situation and they try to use a little bit of money to lure them in, get their hooks in them so that they can hold on to them and abuse them some more. For the first time in my life, I was able to walk away the moment that I spotted the signs. Some of y'all don't understand because some of y'all are stuck in that type of situation. If you pay attention long enough, you'll be free like I am. I would rather be in a bush than fuck anybody or take anybody's money. That's what got me in this situation. Thank you. Yeah. And then some of y'all were here. Y'all saw that he came and tried to twist shit around on me. And first of all, I said we could be friends. Friends. And you had to take it to a whole nother level. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. That's the type of thing that comes with accepting people's help. They want something from you. That is, I've said it time and time again. The only reason that someone would help you is because they're looking for something in return. That's the way that the world is. That's part of the rat race. That's part of human intent. Okay? People are users. People are selfish. People are self-motivated. That's just the way that humanity is, unfortunately. And I don't want shit from nobody. I want Google to pay me the back pay that they owe me from the last year of work. But that'll never happen. That'll never happen. No, they don't want to be a close friend. They want to have power and control over somebody. If somebody loves you, let me tell you what a man would do if he loves you. If a man loved you, he would sit down and talk about your education that you are so dead set on fucking receiving. If I go to you and I'm like, oh, should I go to school for agricultural business or should I go to school for this? And you can't even bounce ideas off of me, I already know where your intent lies. Some of y'all don't have no common sense. Y'all look at things as, oh, he was helping me out. No, motherfucker. He was trying to put me in another goddamn situation that I just escaped from after 20 years of being held hostage and being debt bonded to a son of a bitch that used and abused me. Wake the fuck up. There's sex trafficking taking place across this country everywhere. This is how it starts. With a girl that's already been sexually abused her whole life, with a girl that grew up in the foster care system getting sexually abused, starved, and physically beat, with a girl whose fathers, plural, fathers molested and raped her, with a girl who has no financial standing, with a girl that has very low education, no formal. Predators go after girls in my exact situation, and the man that gave me money to pay my truck note for 3 months, he was absolutely a predator. That's how these things work. He didn't go after a respectable woman that had a job and a career in her own. No, he goes after women that are down on their luck, that have nothing, so that he can exploit them for his own perversion. Nobody else will ever treat me that way. And matter of fact, I'm going to be a beacon for other women to learn how to respect themselves after having to deal with narcissistic people who use them for their vagina. And that's part of God's mission for me. Along with taking on CPS, along with taking on the government and their illegal activity, along with COs and police officers that want to break the laws and be criminals themselves. I don't care if it takes me 60 years. This is what my life is dedicated to. And I'll be damned if some pervert is going to pop up and pay a truck note and think that I'm going to spread these fucking legs. You haven't listened to a fucking word I said. You're part of the problem. A lot of y'all need to be on watch lists. Y'all drop down in my comments and y'all show how cross-wired that brain is. It's pathetic that the ex-hooker, ex-drug addict, ex-stripper, no, this is what y'all call me, child abuser. Ain't it crazy? Just like they did Jesus. Remember all the bad things they said about him? When he was simply trying to share the word of the Lord and teach people how to love themselves, appreciate themselves, respect themselves, and walk in God's word. Remember? I remember. I've been reading it. Imagine the ex-con, ex-child abuser, ex-stripper, ex-hooker, prostitute, whatever you want to call me. Imagine that person is the one out here that's been saying the same shit for 2 years, trying to bring people to Jesus, trying to bring people to a conservative lifestyle, teaching people how to diet, exercise, respect themselves. And it gets turned around on me. I think it's humorous. I think it goes to show that we are living through revelations. 100%. That's the only logical explanation. Yeah, and you know, more people are going to become homeless. They are, as we speak. There's people being thrown out of their physically removed out of their property with their children as we speak. A moment of silence for all the children being traumatized because their parents can't simply pay their mortgage. As they're being escorted off their property, having to leave all of their belongings behind because the bank is taking ownership of the house again. That's happening as we speak to dozens of families, if not hundreds. And it'll only get worse. It's not anger, it's passion. See? Y'all don't even understand me. That tells me you've never been through shit. Anyone being ignorant will be blocked. Yeah, we were talking about that the other day. There's a lot of people that are up for eviction because they can't pay their property taxes because subdivisions have been built right next to old farm plantations and stuff. And so these elderly people that are on a fixed income, they can't pay their mortgages or their home or their taxes, and then they're kicked off their property. It's been going on for years. It's been going on for years. The media doesn't report on the stuff they should be reporting on like that. No, they report and tell us where another riot is going to be so that we can join a riot and burn down the city of Raleigh, North Carolina. I can't find any information on numbers and stats and data and information, but Google spit out the location of a riot today at 2 p.m. in Raleigh for me to go join and fight against ICE. The media is the problem. The media is the problem. The media is the problem. Y'all, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try to relax for a little while. I need to eat, but I don't have any money to eat, so I wonder what the cops will do if I run out of gas here. I don't know, but I ain't cutting the car off. I can't. It's hot, man. It's fucking 90 degrees. Like, I'm not... It is what it is. It is what it is. I can't do nothing about it. I'm not going to be all upset that the truck's getting taken when I can't afford it. And this is what I was talking about. This is what I was talking about. I can't afford the gas. I can't afford the maintenance. I can't afford I can't afford the insurance, but I can't afford $3,000 a month on a car. That $3,000 I could live off in the fucking woods. That's where I'm at. It's crazy. It's crazy how expensive everything's gotten, and it's only going to get worse because it's going to take over 10 years to damn fix this shit. I don't want you guys' money. I don't want anything from anybody. I don't want shit from nobody. That put me in this situation. I don't want nothing from nobody. I hope y'all have a good afternoon. Pray for me because God knows I need it, and I'm praying for you guys. And we'll probably hop back on here whenever those riots kick off in Raleigh, because I want to pay attention to that since that's in my home state and I'm here. If I had the money, I'd go down there and report on it. I'd act like one of them for like 2 hours. I'd be like, nah. To record content, acting like I was one of them protesting against ICE and get a bunch of people to interview and then post it. They can't know I'm conservative. Hell, they'll probably recognize me. I'd probably go down there and get killed, you know, because they probably recognize me from my channel. It's crazy. But anyways, I love you guys, and we'll probably report about that this afternoon because it's supposed to be a peaceful protest, but we've seen how the other ones have went. They're not peaceful. These people are lunatics. I love you guys. Pray for me, and I'm praying for y'all. Y'all be safe. Bye, y'all.